I would like to request you all to uh, turn on your uh, to unmute. Okay, yourself. If you have to ask some question, okay, then you can mute yourself. If you don't have to ask anything, okay, is my screen sharing visible? Yes. Okay, I'd like to uh, go through what we did before first. Okay, I'd like to revise in short about the description of vowels. Basically, the description of monophthongs here. Okay, that we described description of monophthong in our yesterday's class, and some portion of this is left. That's why we will do and we will finish it today. Okay, in our today's class. Okay, and on the basis of as we did before, it is the revision of what we did before. Okay, on the basis of the position of the height of the tongue, that is, there are how many? There are three different types of vowels according to American phoneticians, and there are four types of vowels according to what? According to English British phoneticians. Okay, so let's we have okay, you some of your friends are still coming, they're still joining. Okay, and let's say, and we did okay these three different types of vowels according to American phoneticians, and four different types of vowels according to what? According to British phoneticians. Okay, uh, okay. Good morning. Welcome to you all. Okay, they are according to American phoneticians. Okay, high vowels, mid vowels, and low vowels are there. Okay, high vowels are the vowels for the production of which okay the tongue holds a high position. Okay, not as high as possible here, but they hold a high position are known as high vowels, because here we have got not only so long e and short long u. Okay, long e and long u, they uh, hold the position as high as possible. But E and U, that is short E and short U, okay, they do not uh, let's say they do not hold as high a let's say uh, position as let's say a E, long E and long U do. Okay, so there are high vowels and mid vowels. Okay, if the tongue holds a middle position, the vowel is mid vowel simply. Okay, simply that is and O are what? They are mid vowels in English. Okay, and let's say low vowels. Okay, if the tongue holds as low position as possible, the vowel is low vowel. Okay, and here in the low vowels, what happens? So the tongue is as low as possible. Okay, as low as possible, as low position as possible. Okay, so the vowel is low vowel. Okay, yeah, yeah, uh, okay, this is one is short o, another is what, another is let's say long ah. Okay, ah, o, ah. Okay, these are what these are. There's some, this is a, this is a, this is o, this is a. Okay, a. For example, car, car. Okay, while saying car, the tongue comes as low as possible. Okay, and now we'll move to the next one, next classification. Okay, next classification, next classification is done by British phoneticians. That is, they divide vowels into four different parts. Okay, these parts according to the height of the tongue. Okay, the first one is closed vowels. The vowels for the production of question, the tongue is held as high as possible. Okay, here we have to use the term as high as possible. Okay, that's why E and U, long E and long U are closed vowels. Okay, and half closed vowels are the vowels okay, for the production of which okay the tongue occupies the position about one third of the distance from close to open, from closed vowel to open vowel. Okay, so the first one is closed vowel, and the last one is open vowel. If that occupies the position or the slot of one third from the one third of the distance from close to open, then they are known as what? They are known as what? Half closed vowels. Okay, and the vowels producing in this way are what? Are there is e, this e, u, and e, u, okay, the tongue remains almost in the same place. Okay, in the same place while producing these. There's three different vowels. That's why they are known as what? Half closed vowels. Okay, they occupy the position about one third of the distance from close to open. Okay, later we'll explain it by giving diagram as well. Vowel diagram will I'll provide you the diagram of vowel in my next class, and at that time it will be easier. Okay, I'll present summary in the diagrammatic form. Okay, in the diagram. Okay, so it will become easier for you. And next one is number three is half open vowels. Okay, half open vowels can be described as how the vowels for the production of which the tongue occupies the position about two-thirds and here one-third of the distance from close to open, or here two-thirds of the distance from close to open are called half open vowels. Okay, these vowels are there's and o. Okay, and o. Okay, and o are known as what? Half open vowels. Okay, in the same way we did before. Okay, in our earlier class as open vowels. Okay, the last one according to British pronunciations is what? Open vowels. Okay, the vowels for the production of which the tongue is held as low as possible. Okay, as low as possible are called open vowels. Okay, they are that's a, a, o, and a. Okay, a, o, and a. Okay, these different vowels are these vowels. If the tongue holds as low as possible, they are also what? They are also known as what? Low vowels. Okay, low vowels. The upper vowels and low vowels are uh, the same. Okay, the examples here are in low vowels. Before we did about four different these four different vowels, and in open vowels again we have got these four different vowels. Okay, that's why British pronunciations and American pronunciations they describe these four vowels in the same way. The British pronunciations put the term open vowels, but American pronunciations put the term low vowels for these vowels. Okay, thank you. And now I like to start today from this. This is our actual class today. Okay, now on the basis of parts of the tongue. Okay, next classification, next description is on the basis of what? Of parts of the tongue. Okay, we finished height of the tongue. Now it is parts of the tongue. Okay, on the basis of parts of the tongue raised in the production of vowels, okay, they are classified into back, central, and front vowels. So, okay, you have to know because later you have to describe, you have to give the description of the vowels of English. Okay, either you have to give three-term description or you have to give four-term description, or simply that is the question may ask is describe give the description of the monophthongs of English. Okay, at that time you have to give either four-term description or three-term description. As far as possible, you are required to answer four-term description for vowels and three-term description for consonants. That we will do later. Okay. And now say the first that I like to start with is in terms of parts of the tongue. Okay, parts of the tongue raised uh, in the production of the vowels. Okay, the vowels can be of three different types. Okay, they are what they are: front vowels, central vowels, and back vowels. Okay, that is it refers to. Okay, it refers to that is the parts of the tongue here. The part of the tongue here refers to which part of the tongue is involved in the production of vowels. Okay, on the basis of the part of the tongue involved in the production of vowels. Okay, that is, vowels can be of, let's say, three different types. Three different types. They are front, central, and back vowels. Okay. Now we'll describe these three different vowels in short here. Okay, in short here, and the most important thing here is that which vowel come under, let's say, front vowels. You have to describe them. You have to put the examples anyway. Okay, for the production of front vowels, what happens? The front of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate. Okay, for the production of, let's say, front vowels, what happens? The front part of the tongue, the front A. Okay, now you can produce the front part is, let's say, first of all, we have tip of the tongue, and then blade of the tongue, and then front of the tongue, and then what? Back of the tongue. Okay, before the back part of the tongue, there is always front part. That you have to remember that. Okay, front vowel, front part of the tongue does not mean to the tip of the tongue. Okay, tip of the tongue is different one. Tip of the tongue is the first part. Okay, first part, we see when we see from the point of view of, let's say, from lips to, when we go from lips to lungs, then tip of the tongue is the first part. Okay, and front of the tongue is the front part of the back of the tongue. Okay, you have to realize that in this way. Okay, in this way, that's why for the production of front vowels, what happens? The front of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate. Okay, in English, the sounds producing in this way are, okay, these four sounds are both front vowels. That is long E, short E, A, and A. Okay, they are what? A. Okay, when you say A, the front part of the tongue. Okay, the front part of the tongue, back part of the tongue is at the last position. Okay, and before the back of the tongue, there is the front part of the tongue, and the front part of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate. Okay, hard palate, not back. Okay, front part of the tongue. Okay, and next one is what? Next one is central vowels. Okay, central vowels. What happens in central vowels? Um, is that for the production of central vowels, the center of the tongue, okay, the center of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate again. Okay, the center of the tongue, the central part of the tongue is, let's say, raised. Okay, either, let's say, from blade to the front part, blade or front part of the tongue, blade part, let's say, um, blade of the tongue, okay, is raised towards water, towards the hard palate. Okay, so the center of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate. In English, the sounds producing in this way are what? Let's say, uh, uh, and okay, these three different R's. Okay, these three different R's in English. Okay, all of them are what? This is the shortest R, this is the longest R, and this is the short R. Okay, short R, shortest R, and uh, sorry, short R, let's say longest R, and what this is the shortest R. Okay, shortest R. Okay, these three R's, they come under what? They come under central vowels, because the center of the tongue is involved. The center of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate in the production of what? Central vowels. Okay, it is so. And now back vowels. Okay, back vowels. And back vowels by the term itself. Okay, the back of the tongue is raised. When the back of the tongue is raised, then it tries to go towards what? Towards the soft palate. The back of the tongue can never come to a front part, or the back of the tongue. Okay, never comes to the, let's say, hard palate, or what, or alveolar ridge. Okay, it can never come. Okay, that's why the back of the tongue, when it is raised, it is raised towards what? Raised towards the soft palate. Okay, soft palate, or we also call it velum. Okay, velum. Okay, soft palate. Okay, and so for the production of back vowel soft, what happens? The back of the tongue is raised towards the soft palate. Soft palate. In English, the sounds producing in this way are, okay. What are, let's say, the such sounds? Okay, back vowels. Okay, the back vowels are, let's say, this oo, that is long oo. Okay, this one is short oo. Okay, back part of the tongue is raised towards what? Towards a soft palate. Okay, soft palate, and oh, now you can realize. Okay, you can realize, and this is what? This is short uh, uh, only. Okay, uh, only. Okay, the back part of the tongue is raised toward the soft palate, but they do not touch in each other in the production of vowels. Okay, vowels, the two articulators, they try to come in contact, but there is a gap, sufficient gap, and the air goes freely through that gap. Okay, in this way, vowel sounds are produced. Okay, for the production of back vowels, the um, back part of the tongue is raised towards the soft palate and towards the soft palate, but they do not touch in each other. Okay, and because of the gap between them, okay, the air goes out freely. Okay, in this way, that is, this is a, okay, a, 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 this is ah, 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 ah. That is, the back part of the tongue is raised in the uh, production of these sounds. Okay, now I'll move to the next one, that is according to the lips position. Okay, how the vowels are, let's say, classified according to the lips position. Okay, will do. Okay, lips position, you can see. Okay, what happens to your lip in the production of the vowels? Okay, let's say in terms of lips position, vowels can be classified into two types, as rounded and unrounded. Okay, rounded vowels and unrounded vowels. Okay, what happens in the production of rounded vowels? What happens to our lips in the production of rounded vowels? No, what happens to our lips in the production of unrounded vowels? Okay, they are not so much difficult that you can easily realize yourself. Okay, you easily find when you look at the mirror, when you see the mirror, when you put a mirror in front of you, you can see your lips rounded or your lips unrounded in the production of these vowels. Okay, you can let's say produce the vowels. Okay, being in front of what? In front of the mirror. At that time, you will automatically see. Okay, that which vowels are rounded and which vowels not. Okay, now let's say rounded vowels. Okay, the vowels for the production of which, okay, for the production of which the lips become round. Round are called rounded vowels. Okay, that is in the production of round vowels. What happens? Your lips become round. Okay, when you produce the vowels at that time, if your lips are round, okay, then but then they are known as what? Round vowels. Okay, they are, now you can produce this ooh, 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 ooh. You can say ooh. This is because this is short ooh. Long ooh is ooh, and short ooh is ooh only. Ooh, ooh. For example, beauty, but okay, in this way. Okay, this one is what? This one is oh. Okay, oh, oh. When you say oh, long o here and short o is here. Okay, this is long o. Okay, this is short o. This is long o. This is short o. Actually, u and o, whether they are long or short. Okay, u and o. Okay, whether they are long or short. Okay, they come in what? They come in the description of rounded vowels according to the lips position or lips posture. Lips posture, lips position are also nature, but lips position we can call lip lips posture as well for lips position. Okay, so the vowels for the production of which the lips become round are called rounded vowels. Okay, rounded vowels. Okay, and they are what? Long u, long o, and short o. Okay, now let's move to the next one. And what happens to our lips in the production of unrounded vowels? This is the thing that we'll do now. Okay, and the vowels. Okay, the vowels for the production of which the lips become neutral. Okay, lips become neutral or spread. Okay, the um, our lips become either in neutral position or in what spread position. Okay, they come under what we put them under unrounded vowels. Okay, if your lips are not round in the production of the vowels, at that time they are what they are unrounded vowels. Okay, unrounded vowels. So the vowels are produced by not making your lips in round position. Okay, all other vowels, because there are only two types of classification of vowels on the basis of lip posture. Okay, lip posture. So rounded and unrounded are the two different types. If the vowels are not rounded, they're automatically unrounded. Okay, unrounded ones. So there is unrounded vowels are produced with the neutral or spread position of our lips. Okay, lips. Um, some you can also get unrounded vowels. Some linguists also they define unrounded vowels as neutral vowels and spread vowels as well. Okay, unrounded vowels. Some linguists also define unrounded vowels into two types as neutral, neutral unrounded vowels and spread unrounded vowels. Okay, but for your practice, for your practice, there is no need to give the two different types. Okay, two different types of unrounded vowels. Okay, we can put them okay in the same vessel and you can study. Okay, now e now the sounds producing by making our lips neutral or spread are what they are. This is what long e. Okay, this one is what short e. This one is uh, 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 uh. Okay, this one is ah far far okay far wa wa. Okay, this is what this is work. For example, work uh uh w o r k work long okay longest okay longest and this one is what this one is a okay pet pet a a it is not e. Okay, it is not, it is what it is a and this is what this one is yeah yeah. Okay, yeah fat fat. Okay, fat. And this one is what this one is uh, uh, okay uh, but beauty but cut 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 okay this is the short it is, it is not the uh, long okay long is this one. Okay, the longest is this one. And this is the short because in Nepali language we have got only one sound. Okay, only one sound, but in English language we have got three different sound, three different sounds. That's why we need to be clear about this sound. Okay, sound. So um, let's say we have to compare the sound system of our language and sound system of our target language. Okay, our target language here is English. Okay, that's what we have to compare the sound. If we compare the sound systems of let's say two languages, then it becomes easier for us to identify. Okay, Okay, and next one is that is the term. The one thing here in general, what happens is in general vowels before the voiceless consonants. Okay, the vowel sounds that come before the voiceless consonants are shorter than the vowels before the voiced consonants. Consonants can be either voiceless or voiced. Okay, if the same vowel comes before voiceless consonants, they are shorter. Okay, if the same vowel comes before the voiced consonant, that is what that is um, that is a bit longer. Okay, that's why vowels before the voiceless consonants are shorter. Okay, voiceless, for example, ta, da. Okay, in ta and da, okay, ta is voiceless consonant and da is what, voiced consonant. Okay, if let's say one sound comes before ta, one vowel comes before va, and the same vowels come before da, the vowel coming before ta sound is what, ta consonant, ta voiceless consonant is shorter. Then what, then that comes before the da consonant. For example, bat, bat. Okay, bat and bad, bad, bad. Okay, bad, 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 bad. The sound is the same, the vowel is the same. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's why bat, bad. This yeah of bat, bad is shorter than what? Then the vowel that comes before the voiced consonant da. Okay, da, bad. When you say bad, we say bad. But when you say bad, we say bad, 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 bad. In this way, okay. In this way, let's say we do the description of vowels on the basis of lip position. Okay, I think you have finished copying them. I'd like to move to the next one and next description. That is what that is. Um, the length. Okay, the length is the time duration, okay, taken by a particular vowel while producing them. Okay, length refers to the time taken by a particular vowel in the articulation. Okay, length refers to the time duration, the duration of time, okay, taken by a particular vowel. Okay, according to length, vowels can be either short or long. Okay, there are two different. We have done this in our previous class as well. Okay, that's why they are not so much difficult for you. Okay, I like to move a bit faster. Okay, a diacritic mark. This colon mark. This colon mark is used to show the length of the vowel, to show the long vowel sexually. Okay, the length is shown by double dot. That double dot, which is this diacritic mark, is known as what? This is known as colon marker. Okay, this colon mark is used. Okay, and now say short vowels. Okay, short vowels you can get here. The vowels which are produced taking relatively short time for the production of them are called short vowels. Okay, for the production of short vowels, what happens is that they are produced taking relatively short time, a short time, okay, while producing them. Okay, and the such vowels in English are what? Such vowels in English are, let's say, short e, short u. Okay, this is short. These are short. Okay, e, e, a, and a. Okay, okay. Now see, this is the short, short. That's a vowel, and this is the shortest. Okay, short shortest. Okay, though they come under what? Short vowels. Okay, e, e, yeah. Okay, in this way we describe the short vowels. Okay, short vowels and long vowels. Now we'll move to long vowels. Long vowels are vowels which are produced taking relatively long time for the production of them are referred to as long vowels. Okay, and for production of long vowels, the time, okay, relatively they take a long time to produce. Okay, monophthongs with a diacritic mark are long vowels in English. Okay, if the monophthongs, if they are with what, the diacritic mark colon, They are regarded as long vowels, and in English they are what? They are E, U, U, A, and okay, this E, U, O, okay, A, and are what? They are the long vowels in English. Okay, and one thing here that we have to include is, let's say, just as before, in general, the vowels before voiced consonants, the vowels before voiced consonants are longer than the vowels before voiceless consonants. Okay, the same as earlier. Okay, in general, the vowels before voiced consonants are longer. Before voiced bat, bad, bad, bad is longer. Then what? Bat, bat. Okay, bat. Okay, in this way, in general, the vowels before voiced consonants are longer than the vowels before voiceless consonants. Okay, in this way, um, we finish the class today, and tomorrow we'll talk about these are all about what? About the description of monophthongs. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll move to further the description of diphthongs. Okay, how we describe diphthongs will be discussed tomorrow. Okay, that's why I like to stop my screen sharing here, and I'll stop here. Okay, thank you for your participation here, and I hope you will be regular to take the classes.